Hello again, Rebecca here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are on Saturday, and that is take a sketch, take a collection, and see what you can do with it every Saturday in the month. This is September 2020. This is the collection pack that I am using. I did show you the sketch there. These are just, I find that even though I have a large kit put together, I do go through and pull out just some pattern papers that I do want to use for the layout. I grab a cardstock and just pieces of my kit that I've put together that I'm going to use on this layout. I find that if I have a plethora of choices, I have a very hard time getting a layout done. So I just minimize obviously if I find that I need more for the page, I will go back in that kit. It's just in a 12 by 12 iris container that sits to the left of me. And every collection and series that I do for my channel has its own little 12 by 12 iris container. The only one that does not have a 12 by 12 iris container is my Random Fridays, and that's just because I have a whole bunch of half-used collection packs and or page kits that I've put together that sit to the right underneath my desk, and I will just grab those and create with those when I'm not feeling or needing to do a YouTube video. So as you've seen in that sketch, there's like the cardstock. There's one long band that goes across, and then there's two tags. So this is what I'm creating my tags out of right here. And then there's some butterfly, I guess, die cuts or punch shapes. I go ahead and, right here I'm going to go ahead and create the tags out of this piece. What I've been doing is using my punches for this series this month, and it is super awesome. Just getting some, obviously you can't use those up, but I don't use them quite enough. Now the punch that I go ahead and use for this particular layout, I believe I will be getting rid of because, Lord, it just did not want to punch. It was horrible. So obviously it is not going to go back in my stash. To my knowledge, it may have, but I'm, thinking about getting rid of things and making space for new things. And obviously this is something that didn't work. It sucked. So let's just go ahead and be honest. No, we're just not going to use it again probably, so it does need to go. Now I do go ahead and mat these on that yellow and white polka dotted paper. And then I decide on this one because it looked like at that point it was going to overhang into the yellow that I was going to use some of this green. Then I remembered I had this beautiful glitter paper, so we're going to go ahead and mat it again. Now when I do put stuff on this, and it's not glitter paper, it's cheapo glitter foam from the dollar store. When I am using this, I use the dry adhesive and the wet adhesive, and that is just my fine liner bottle with the art glitter glue in it. And I do that because the dry adhesive from my ATG will hold it in place slightly, and the liquid glue will adhere it once it dries and it won't come off. So it's, So I'm going to go ahead and use this corrugated board that I found again. Now I've had this stuff, and as you've seen in my first video, I have a hot pink one and a lime green one, neon colors. Picked that up at the dollar store as well. And I have had these kicking around in my craft room for years upon years upon years upon years, and this is the first time I've ever used it. So I did go ahead and adhere one photo to the other, and then I'm going to take some of this cheapo fun foam and just double it up to make them, lay the same dimension off of the page. It did take two pieces because I had a lot of layers on that top piece. So we're going to go ahead and get this down. Now first I'm thinking I'm going to go there because that's what the sketch calls for. I'm looking, and then I'm like, you know what? Change the sketch up. Let's drop the pictures down to right here. Now the butterflies are the punch pieces. Here's this crazy punch. It's going to take me a while. You guys are going to see me struggle. I decided instead of butterflies that I would go with these flowers. See, it doesn't want to let go of the paper. In the first layout that I created, I used hearts, and it was the same style of punch, and this foam would go in there. This one is apparently not opening all the way back up, so I believe that it just needs to be, unfortunately, tossed. I have other flower punches and die cuts that I can run through my Big Shot, so I'm just going to go ahead and punch a whole bunch of these out. And you see their struggle bus, people. Now I'm going to layer the flowers up, and they do not quite go in the same way, in the same air, in the same place as the sketch, but I'm okay with that. This is the only pattern paper. I do not like that pattern paper at all. So luckily it's the the fun side is really pretty, so I do like that. So we're just going to trim that off. I'm going to trim this up just to get rid of the scraps, because every time I see them, they'll just remind me of that punch, and it will just, make me cry. So we're going to go ahead and put this, see, and it just ended up tearing the paper, so I was like, I'm done with you. I'm just going to trim those off as well. Stick those back on the other side to use for another day. And I'm just kind of separating these out so that I can get and see what I've got. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab these two twines. This is a struggle as well because I grabbed the wrong end. But that's okay. We're going to go ahead and somewhat figure this out. And I'm going to end up running both of those colors through the tags. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to get the tags adhered down. So I take a live edit teal and run it through this tag here. Now you will notice that the pattern paper is upside down. I promise I did that on purpose because one of the tags goes right side up and one goes upside down. So this one right here, we're just going to go ahead and I do have to pull that back up because let me tell you, that ATG really started to stick, but we're going to get that one right there. I did have to go ahead and refill my ATG. I didn't make you guys watch me do that. We're going to stick that one right there. I am going to trim off the frayed edges of the baker's twine. And I'm going to come in with my art glitter glue and just make it look like it's laying there flowing. Otherwise, it's going to look all wonky and messed up in my albums. So I'm just getting them pulled together, and we're just going to run that, and I'm just going to lightly pat it down so that the glue grabs it and keeps it stuck to the paper. Now here we're going to come in with these flowers, and I'm going to layer them one over top the other and just turn them. And I do go ahead and I'm going to put some foam on the back of them when I adhere them to the page. I love the way that this turned out. I actually like this sketch for this month. And, you did see that, this is the third month that I've been doing the Take a Sketch Challenge. The first month, which was July, I created, I think, 4 layouts, and they were all completely different, using the same layout, using the same collection and the same sketch. In August, that was not the case. They kind of ended up looking a little bit the same, but I'm okay with that because I don't, I was scrapping pictures from over the past 20 years plus, so I was, they're in different albums, so they're not going to be right next to each other. Now here I did have to try to, most of these are going in the same layout, so the same album, so same year. Here I just go ahead and put one foam dot on each of these just to have the leaves be a little wonky. And we're just going to layer those all up right like that. So I have one that I did cut and put a lot of foam on because it's at the end. Now I did everything that I pulled out to use on this layout, I successfully used on this layout. This right here is just a little frame, so I'm just going to go ahead and frame this picture right here. I know that the top of the picture is sticking out, but I come back and fix that. I'm going to use this frame right here, and I am actually going to layer that under a flower. I'm going to take these two pieces. I'm going to layer this little heart that came out of the frame. We're going to layer him right that general area just to bring a pop of that pink over to that side. I'm going to take this little guy and we're going to layer him right next to the heart. I realized it was upside down, so I do switch that around. And this right here is going to serve as one of the titles of my page. It says 5 cents. 5 cents admit one, because my fiance was cutting grass. Right there is where I fixed the top of that frame, and it says something about making memories. when I met him and we started to get serious and talking about, our lives together, he pretty much just told me, I will never do yard work. If you don't want to pay someone to do it, that's fine. If you're going to do it, I am not going to cut the grass. I am also never going to remodel another house. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's been almost 2 years. He is now cutting grass and remodeling a house. We laugh about that now. So I did go ahead and grab one of those citrus wood veneers that I picked up at the dollar store, and I did get that stuck on the page. I'm looking at the sticker sheet, and it is a very vacation-themed collection. Totally love it. It would be perfect if we weren't in the midst of a pandemic, and I am not traveling. So I'm trying to use the bits and pieces that I can in these random layouts, and I'm okay with that because anything I don't use, as far as the sticker sheet, I will put in my vacation travel iris container and use it then. I did go ahead and get those stickers, that little sunglass sticker stuck on the page as well. I'm going to come back and put a center in the middle of all of my flowers because all flowers should have a gem-filled center. Now after this, there is not much more that I'm going to do to lay out. If in fact you would like to join me on Take a Sketch and Collection Saturdays, please leave a comment below. You are more than welcome, and I would love to have you. I could just send you the sketch that we are going to use. You can use any old collection you want. But that's going to be it for this layout. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked the layout. Hit that subscribe button and leave me any kind of comment you would like below. I do appreciate you watching my channel, and it does make me feel very fun and pretty. I have no idea. All right, that was the layout. Here we go. Thank you.